Have you ever heard about the Peter Principle? According to this idea, people at any job get promotions for their success, and this advancement only ends when they stop excelling. This principle tells us that success in one area doesn't correspond to success in all areas. That is how poor leaders are made, as they get promoted to a level they were not eligible for. That's why it is necessary to identify bad leadership traits. It will help you identify a poor leader and improve your leadership qualities as well. In this video, we will talk about 13 poor leadership traits that are necessary to know about. Let's get started. Welcome to Wisdomosity. If you are not a subscriber yet, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon so that you won't miss interesting videos on our channel. Number 13. They do not encourage. Encouragement is an important part and is like blood for everyone. But unfortunately, poor leaders lack this quality by being overly critical. Of course, identifying mistakes for the betterment is crucial, as good leaders notice and point out mistakes. However, if criticism becomes a ritual and the only compliment the workers listen to, they ultimately stop trying altogether. Poor leaders never utter words of encouragement and lose the appropriate balance between encouragement and criticism. Number 12. They are confirmation biased. This trait is a plague to leadership because it leads to flawed decision-making. Bad leaders don't consider others' perspectives and reject ideas that contradict their beliefs. They don't pay heed to listen to different stances, stick to their preconceptions, and disregard opposing evidence. The worst thing is that they are overly possessed by being right all the time. This is because they want to retain their power over others and don't want to be challenged. Number 11. They are self-centered and selfish. A good leader is a person who takes a little more than his share of the blame and a little less than his share of the credit. John Maxwell. A leader without his team is nothing because he can never attain his goals without the team. A bad leader remains inconsiderate of others' needs. He always puts himself first and only takes decisions beneficial for themselves. He tends to point fingers at others when something goes wrong, aside from taking all the credit when things go on the right track. Selfish leaders excel in manipulating the workers. Number 10. They lack accountability. A great leader always takes responsibility for his actions and his team's performance. As a quote rightly says, leaders inspire accountability through their ability to accept responsibility before they place blame. Courtney Lynch. But unfortunately, a poor leader does the opposite. He never holds himself accountable for any flaws or his managerial actions. He often blames others if any inconveniences occur due to his poor leadership. This bad attitude destroys the whole environment and deteriorates the relations as well. Number 9. They are not emphatic. To manage yourself, use your head. To manage others, use your heart. Feet. Eleanor Roosevelt. A real leader always understands others through empathy, because this is the only way to help others achieve success and reach higher levels. But a bad leader never puts himself in other shoes. He only judges the mistakes of others without showing any interest in their problems. He neither shows interest in listening to the grievances of others. This attitude results in the demotivation of his subordinates. But a lack of empathy prevents him come up with real solutions to the problems of demotivation and low productivity. Number 8. The power trip instead of empowering others. Being powerful does not mean abusing these privileges. A true leader tries to motivate, spend time growing his team, and support them in becoming their best version. On the other hand, a bad leader's emphasis changes from empowering the team to enhancing his sense of self-worth. His focus remains only on ruling and controlling others instead of developing and realizing the true potential of his workers. He fails to understand that team empowerment is the key to his success and empowerment. Number 7. They are bossy and micromanagers. Never tell people how to do things. Tell them what to do, and they will surprise you with their ingenuity. George S. Patton. Another poor leadership trait is doubting the team's capacity for excellence. A leader with no faith in his team also has no faith in himself. He insists on having his way with everything. These standards deprive his subordinates of authority and responsibility. His bossy attitude makes his team unproductive, and ultimately, they can't perform on their own. Number 6. They are inflexible. Unlike good leaders who acknowledge their faults to grow, Poor leaders never embrace change and remain unwilling to change their management styles. In today's world, nothing says awful leadership more than an authoritarian and inflexible leader. Number 5. They lack good communication. We all know that clear and effective communication is the backbone of good leadership. Bad leaders remain distant from subordinates, resulting in loopholes in effectively conveying their message. The inability to convey a message effectively can deteriorate relationships with others. Making effective communication a priority in your leadership style can increase productivity and result in corporate success. Relationships are the basis for respect, and communication is the cornerstone of relationships. Respect cannot flourish in a situation where the leader lacks clarity in communication. Number 4. They claim credit for others' ideas. Claiming others' ideas as your own may not always be intentional, but it is a hallmark of poor leadership because it amounts to a failure to listen in the best sense. In the worst-case scenario, it implies that the boss intentionally takes the praise that another person deserves. Such credit-claiming attitude shakes others' trust in the leader. And nothing is more destructive to a team than a lack of trust. Number 3. Their focus fluctuates. The ability to think big is often associated with great leaders. But a poor leader finds it difficult to remain stuck to any strategy and shows impatience. Whenever he changes his focus, his thinking gets smaller. Leaders must resist the impulse to dismiss a strategy that isn't producing results right now. If they change focus and jump wildly from one strategy to another, the subordinates can lose faith in them. Number 2. Know it all. Good leaders are aware of how little they know. They don't even care to be the person in the room who is the smartest or the most correct. They are aware of when and who to consult. However, know-it-alls never utilize the vast knowledge and expertise available to them. Number 1. They hesitate to take risks. Lastly, a bad leader never takes risks because the fears of failure and pride dominate him. He never leaves his comfort zone and restricts himself to well-traveled paths. And as a result, innovation takes the last breath in him. Although prudent leadership does not take careless risks, they do not let fear immobilize their risk-taking ability. Good leadership frequently takes 2 steps forward and 1 step back. It was all about today's video. Now, it's your turn to act immediately if any warning characteristics apply to you. You may prevent tragedy and maintain the kind of leadership that is healthy and gratifying for both you and your followers. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, then hit the like button. Also, if you are also interested in finding purpose in your life, you can enjoy the next video and get beneficiated from it.